Hello! My name is Callista, and welcome to another video update. Today's video update is going to be a little something different. I've never done this before on my channel. So, the Dragon Age series is going to be wrapping up very soon. I do still have the final 3 DLCs to play, however, that series is going to be finishing sooner rather than later, and as such, I'm in need of a new primary Let's Play to bring onto my channel, and I figured the best people to help me choose that would be you guys at home. So I've picked out 4 games that I'd be more than happy to play. I'm going to describe each one, describe the character I'd be playing, what I know about the series, if it's blind or if I've played the game before, all that good stuff. And depending on which one you like the sound of the most, you're going to vote for it in the comments down below. You will actually get 2 votes because I should have a community post up on my community tab. Where else would the post be? But it's going to be a poll. Let's say you really want option D to be picked. You're just like, yep, option D, I love that game. It's a blind Let's Play, it'll be really entertaining to watch. You can vote for option D here. You can also go to the poll and vote there. Or maybe there's 2 games that you really like the sound of. You're like, I like option A, but I like option C. I can't decide. Well, good news, you don't have to decide. You can vote for option A here and option C on the poll. So I figured that'd be a good way of doing it. Yeah, I think that's enough preamble. Here are the games I've picked. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. So I figured after having played Dragon Age, it only made sense to do the other big BioWare heavy hitter RPG. This would be a blind Let's Play. I've never played the Mass Effect games before. I did purchase them a couple of years ago, and it was only a couple of years ago. I think if I were to look at Origin, it would say I've spent about 9 hours in-game. About 6 of those were spent in character creation and trying to pick a class, because the first time I loaded into the game, I was playing a biotic, and I very quickly realised that I should not be playing a biotic. I do not gel well with that class, so it was like 2 hours of me reloading the game, picking a different class, going back in, okay, no, I can't play this either, blah, 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 and it was very messy. Once I had finally selected a class, I really only played about 3 hours. If my recollection of the plot is that Shepard goes to the Citadel, meets a dinosaur man who shoots a guy in a nightclub, and then Shepard gets made a Spectre. I don't know if the 2 incidents are connected. I don't know if that guy was a right prick and they were like, thank you for helping the dinosaur man here become a special agent. Like, I really can't remember, but that's the plot as I remember it. Space Dad gives Shepard the keys to the Normandy, and Shepard has this whole speech about how, we're gonna go get that guy who messed up that other guy on the first planet. And that's where I stopped playing. I went to check Twitter, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition has just been announced. All of the games, all of the DLCs in one handy dandy bundle with upgraded graphics, and I was so annoyed that I haven't touched the game since. So that's my experience with the Mass Effect franchise. I would say it's about like 95% blind. I am aware that people weren't happy with Mass Effect 3. I believe a lot of the romances got shafted quite badly. And I know that Cole makes a couple of Mass Effect references in Dragon Age, but that's really all of my experience with the Mass Effect franchise. The character I would be playing is Naomi Shepard. She was born on Earth. She spent most of her youth running with gangs and generally getting into trouble. The only life anyone ever saw for her was, probably ODing at a very young age. However, Naomi wasn't having that, and as such, she enlisted at the age of 18. She did pretty well. She managed to survive a rather terrifying assignment on a cruise, and her goal in life is she wants to inspire. She wants to show that no matter where you came from, you can always find your own path. Everyone says, no, you're going to do this. If you don't want to do that, you can find your own path. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, you are capable of greatness. However, if you try and fuck with her, if you try and maybe indicate that she's not such a nice person because of the things she did when she was a young person, she will not hesitate to put you in your place. Now, in terms of actual in-game stuff, she is a Earthborn, Soul Survivor, Soldier, primarily Paragon. However, there will be some Renegade things that she does. So yeah, that is Naomi, that is Mass Effect. On to the next game. Pillars of Eternity. So I added Pillars of Eternity onto this list because I've never played a CRPG before. I can't explain why, but when I look at them, when I look at that top-down perspective with, you know, the battlefield kind of laid out before me and all of that, I feel really overwhelmed, and my brain, I can't explain why, but my brain always goes, oh, this is clearly really difficult, you'd never be able to understand it, we just shouldn't play it. And I know I'm making things a lot more difficult in my head. I guarantee the games aren't super complex, but that's just how my brain registers them. I can't explain why. However, because of that, I've never completed, or even played actually, a CRPG game. And so I really want to do that. So I figured Pillars of Eternity would be a good starting point. This is a semi-blind Let's Play. I'm saying semi-blind because, technically speaking, I watched a live stream. My friend, Bam Games, on YouTube, he live streamed both Pillars of Eternity 1 and Pillars of Eternity 2. However, there were multiple streams where I arrived late, left early, where I missed the whole stream, or, to be blunt, where I just wasn't paying attention. As such, I have a really good memory of the beginning of the game. You know, you're on a caravan and you're sick, so you have to go get some healing herbs, but by the time you get back, everyone's dead and there's this, like, magical storm, so you escape through a temple. And then after that, things very quickly derail. In my memory, I know there's a guy, and he does a thing, and you gain the ability to speak to people's souls and see into people's past lives. And there's a village where babies are being born without souls. And then after that, it's like nothing. I remember there's a town, and an old woman, and a place with a load of snow. And that's like it. Like, I can remember the beginning, but anything after maybe the first hour, I only have vague recollections of, and once we get past like probably the 5 hour mark, it's like nothing. I'm just like, stuff occurs, I think. So that's my experience with Pillars of Eternity. The character I would be playing is called Jimena. Now, just for anyone who isn't familiar with this setting, there are these creatures called, I believe they're either the godlike or the godwoken, one of the two. I'm going to be referring to them as the godlike. If it's the other one, or a different one, my apologies, but the godlike are kind of like tieflings in D&D. 2 humans make a baby, and oh my god, it came out with horns and a demon tail, what the fuck? They're kind of like that. And for the most part, the godlike are universally reviled. They are seen as terrible creatures. Some of them are killed at birth because they look so unhuman and terrifying, and they generally don't have particularly nice existences, except for the moon godlike. The moon godlike they're very beautiful. They're more like Azamar than tieflings, and they are almost universally seen as like a blessing and a good omen. They are bestowers of good luck and all of that. And Jimena is a moon godlike, and she hears the voice of the goddess Andra. She has heard her voice ever since she was a little girl, and she comes to spread her word to everyone, and for just 10 gold pieces you can hear the voice of Andra. And what is this, madam? You wish to speak to your deceased son? Yeah, I can totally do that. Yeah, let me contact him. What's your son's name? James. Okay, James, we're contacting James. He says he misses his husband. He misses his husband, and the kids. He misses the kids. Yes. Oh no, and James, I'm losing him. I need 10 more gold to get in contact with him. If you couldn't guess by this point, Jimena has never heard the voice of Andra. She is just your common or garden scam artist. She is a rogue through and through. She's quite selfish. She believes in freedom, the freedom to do as you wish, and for her that means scamming people and being a con artist. She's on the caravan because too many people cottoned on to what she was doing, and so she's moving to a new country to start scamming there. In terms of her personality, as I said, primarily very selfish. She's not a psychopath or a sociopath. She does feel empathy and pity and guilt to some degree. If she found out that she had scammed someone and their life had been completely ruined, she'd feel quite bad, but then she gets up the next day and does it all again. I like playing selfish characters. I really enjoy them. I think they're very fun. to play. So that is Jimena, that is Pillars of Eternity. The next game, Greedfall. So I decided to include Greedfall on this list because, without a doubt, Greedfall is one of my favourite games of all time. It's not my favourite game of all time, that goes to Dragon Age Origins, but it is easily in my top 5. I love this game so much. I've completed it maybe 2 or 3 times, but there have been countless playthroughs where I've started, gotten so far, and then kind of felt, oh, I feel like playing Dragon Age Origins, and then I've just kind of left that playthrough. So I'm very familiar with this game. I love it. I love the world building, I love the characters, I love the combat, and there are some aspects of it that need polish, I will admit that. However, considering this was Spider's first attempt at a traditional fantasy RPG, I think they did really well. I think they did really well, and I'm really excited to see Greedfall 2, which I know it's in development. I think it'll be coming out in like the next 2 to 3 years, maybe, give or take. In case you're unfamiliar with the plot, essentially you play a diplomat from fantasy Venice, and you're going over to the New World to set up colonies and to try and find a cure for the Malachor, which is basically the fantasy Black Death. Now, in case you're worried, you know, oh, this seems like a game about colonization. Does it portray the colonizers as the heroes? Not really. In most cases, the colonizers are the arseholes, and it's just Desarde who's there like, hey, I seem to be the only sane one here. Also, just for argument's sake, because I saw this a lot when the game came out, a lot of people were complaining about how this is offensive to the Native Americans. The natives of Tir Friddy are based on the ancient Celts. Tir Friddy, it's Gaelic. So I did find that very funny that like, oh, you're saying it's insulting to one group, all the while dismissing another who it's actually based off. Like, good journalism there. Really top tier journalism, but oh well. The character I would be playing is Yelena Desarde. She is a diplomat, as I said, so she's more of a talky character. She tries to solve things peacefully. I would say she's a good diplomat, however, she's very insecure. She has this strange marking on her face, it's a birthmark, and she's always been very self-conscious about it because it's kind of separated her from, you know, the rest of her family, and as such, she does tend to cling very tightly onto her cousin and her relationship with him. She values him a great deal, and it does make her a little bit insecure when she's dealing with other people, so I think that'd be cool. I don't think I've played a particularly insecure, there was Amelia, my character from Dragon Age 2, she was just scared. I don't think I've played someone who is insecure and somewhat well-adjusted, let's put it that way. So I think bringing Yelena onto the channel would be pretty cool. So that was Greedfall and Yelena. On to the final game, Nier Replicant. So this is actually going to be quite a short section because when I say I know nothing about this game, I literally mean I know nothing about this game. This was requested by Killer Cake, so thank you for the suggestion, Killer Cake. I believe we play as a guy who is trying to cure his sick sibling. I was actually kind of surprised about that because all of the images about, you know, the Nier franchise that I've seen, it's always been a young woman with short white hair, kind of a black bandage around her eyes and a black poofy dress. So I just assumed she was the protagonist. So I was very surprised that it was a dude. I know there's a guy with a weird looking face. He's got like a big smile. I presume he's the villain because he looks scary to me. I know literally nothing. I know literally nothing about this game. So I can't really say anything other. I thought it'd be good as a kind of wild card game to have something that I literally know nothing about. I figured that could be fun. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't have this section be a little bit longer. My apologies. So those are the 4 games available for you to pick. Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Pillars of Eternity, Greedfall, and Nier Replicant. Please do remember to go and vote in the comments down below and on the community tab poll. I think I'm going to end this episode off here, and I am very excited to see what you guys pick for me to play. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.